One important purpose behind the long and arduous journeys Rabindranath undertook, even in his declining years, was to collect funds for his school, which had now grown into an international university. The Vishwa Bharati had opened its doors to students and scholars from all over the world. Songs, fairs, dramatic performances, festivals celebrating the seasons formed part of the very fabric of life at Shantiniketan. An important aspect of Rabindranath's great experiment consisted in organizing a drive towards improving conditions in the villages. Leonard Elmhurst remembers the occasion in America when Rabindranath first mentioned the idea to him.
First of all, he had a sense of humor. Secondly, he came straight to the point and said, Mr. Elmhurst, I have a school, rather an academic school, in Bengal, and it's situated in the middle of the countryside. There are bare plains all round, and my father started this center, but around us are a number of Indian villages, and for years I've been interested in the village life of Bengal. But what worries me about these villages is that they seem to be in decay. And I've wanted for a long time someone who would be willing to come and live in one of them. And I have a farm 1.5 miles away from our school.
Elmhurst assumed the task Tagore had asked of him.
And this gave us one of our relations. But at the end of 6 months, Tagore said, Elmhurst, will you formulate your findings, because I want you to come with me to Calcutta and talk to the students in the university there about what you have found. Can you sum up what are the 3 main troubles? And I said, well, the odd thing is they all begin with M. Monkeys, malaria, and mutual mistrust.
Besides Leonard Elmhurst, 2 other Englishmen gave themselves heart and soul to serving Tagore's cause. They were Charlie Andrews and Willie Pearson. Andrews, who knew Gandhi even before he knew Tagore, had an additional task to perform.
C.F. Andrews was always known as the hyphen because he regarded part of his life work as the job of bringing Tagore and Gandhi together.
The relationship between the 2 men was a unique one. Indeed, Tagore and Gandhi may be said to have stood for 2 dominant, differing, and yet complementary aspects of India. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru admits to have been influenced by both.
I was very much more closely in contact with Gandhiji, and he affected me tremendously. And yet, if I may say so, with all humility, my mind was a little more in tune with Tagore. And as I grew and as I saw more of Rabindranath, I was attracted to him more and more. Attracted, and at the same time I noticed, as I noticed in the case of Gandhiji too, how these two mighty men were constantly undergoing. They were men full of humanity, full of life, full of song, at least Tagore obviously was, full of the joy of life.
Rabindranath's last days were spent largely in Shantiniketan. His countrymen and the world at large had acclaimed him and paid homage to him. In a lifetime of ceaseless work, he had produced more than 50 volumes of poetry, over a dozen novels, numerous textbooks, essays, short stories and plays, well over 3,000 songs, and over 2,000 paintings. He might well have been content to rest on his laurels, but he wasn't. His acute sensibility and the very dynamism of his personality made him respond to every sight and sound, each event and experience. It left him no choice but to keep on creating to the end of his days. One of the last things he wrote was a message on his 80th birthday. It was an indictment of the civilization that had brought forth imperialist aggression, which was then about to destroy the very ideal that was dearest to his heart, the ideal of human brotherhood.
When my mind was released from the black cavern of oblivion and woke up into an intolerable surprise, it found itself at the crater of a volcanic hellfire that spouted forth a stifling fume of insult to man. It witnessed the long-drawn suicidal agony of the time spirit passing through convulsions of a monstrous deformity worse than death. Give me power, O awful judge, sitting on the throne of eternity. Give me a voice of thunder, that I may hurl imprecation upon this cannibal whose gruesome hunger spares neither women nor children, that my words of reproach may ever rock upon the heart throbs of a history humiliated by itself, till this age, choked and chained, finds the bed of its final rest in its ashes.
On the 7th of August 1941, a few minutes after midday, the voice was stilled. Rabindranath died in the house where he was born. His ashes were brought back to Shantiniketan.
To me, who was present when his ashes were brought back to Shantiniketan, to me his death seemed more than mere physical dissolution. I felt, and together with me all those who had lived within the orbit of this unique personality, that what had passed away was indeed a way of life, a way of thinking and feeling. One might almost say a way of dreaming, the like of which no age like ours could possibly reproduce again. And it is no exaggeration to say that we then were filled with a sense of awe and veneration which have never left us since. For I knew that no one who has ever been near him, whether Hindu or Muslim, Christian or Jew, black or white or yellow, could ever again escape into irony or sarcasm when either his common sense or his imagination failed him.
Hello dinotiro, paro novo sadio. Hello dinotiro, paro novo sadio. Arambho karo jibanero kajo. Sarolo sabolo anando mone amolo atolo jibane. Sarolo sabolo anando mone amolo atolo jibane. Anando dhoni jagao gagane. देखो রেখো যদি দূরে যাই চলে